Hi everybody, welcome to yet another video. So this one is the brand new Porphis PRD817. Now the PRD815 has been out for a little while, although the 815 in 1.2 is relatively new. This is the split tip version. Now I had absolutely loads of messages on various platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and some on YouTube as well, when this thing was announced, asking me, have I already got one? Am I going to get one? Etc. etc. Porphis told me they were going to send me one out, and I will point out it's actually sent out to me free of charge, so I didn't pay for it. I think there's about 4 or 5 people, maybe a few more. I'm not sure, but on YouTube and Instagram and that get these things, get these guns sent to them. And somebody said to me the other day, I did an unboxing video, which I'll put a link in the description because it goes into depth about the differences in the guns a little bit more, and it shows you more than a video of just using it will show you. So I'll put a link in the description if you just want to know a little bit more about the gun, the workings of the gun rather than its performance. It also has a fan pattern against the 717. Which is quite interesting because there is a subtle difference, and there is a difference between the guns as well. It's not huge, but there is definitely a difference there. And they said that I was the first one on YouTube to get a video out on them. As far as I know, they all went out at the same time. It's just that I happen to live very close to like a major international hub for receiving parcels. So I think Porphis sent them all out to everybody on the Friday, and I got mine on the Tuesday morning, first thing Tuesday morning, which was really handy because I only had Tuesday and Wednesday at home before I came away. So I'm actually narrating this while I'm away, but the footage was obviously gained on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. So I did as much as I could with it to get an idea of it, and as I say, I actually put it back to back with the 717 at the end of the second day, just to get in my mind what I thought was the subtle differences between the 817 and the 717. So as I've said, I was sent this free of charge, so a big thank you to Porphis for doing that, because it does enable me to try the guns and tell you guys what I actually think of them. And I try and be as truthful as I can, and there's no pressure from anybody to actually say anything. So the pressure I feel is from myself, because I need to be truthful with you guys as to what I find. I'm really fortunate in that every gun they've sent me, I've actually genuinely enjoyed and thought was really good. So it hasn't been a problem. But if ever it does happen, I would say to them, I've got a problem with this gun, it's not really right or whatever. But as I say, it just hasn't happened. So anyway, let's get on to I'll get a few niceties out of the way, and then they're out of the way because I'll forget them otherwise. We have a Porphis discount code if you wish to use it and support the channel. There's a link in the description which should automatically apply it. A couple of people have said that, well, 2 people said it made it more expensive. I'm not sure what was going on there, but it should give you a bit of a discount. But anyway, it's there if you want to use it and you feel the way to, you feel you want to. And also somebody that I've got no links with or anything like that, but there's a company in the UK called Overspray, which they're basically the UK supplier of Porphis, and they're VAT registered as well. So if you're VAT registered, you can get a VAT receipt and claim your VAT back. Anyway, there's a link in the description. There's a 5% discount. As I say, there's no affiliation with them, but I will mention them because they're in the UK basically. There's also a link to the Australian Porphis importer who sent me a message and said, would you mention us? And I have done. So there we are. So getting on with the difference between the guns. So as I say, I'd only had 2 days with this gun, but it was enough. When you get if you get a gun that's not so good, you can often find a workaround and think that's not too bad. But when you pick up a gun and it works well instantly, then it's absolutely fine. And this was the first job I did with this gun, so it's the first time properly using it. I did an unboxing video as soon as I got it, but this is the first actual job I did with it. and it came out lovely. It really did come out lovely. So let's look at the differences between the 817 and the 815 first of all. So the 815 is the non-split tip version, so it is actually faster than the 817. And I will get a chance to do a back-to-back video of the 817 and the 815. I've got footage of the 817 and the 817 and the 717. So I know the difference between those, and I needed to know that because I wanted, to get this video out. But the difference between the 817 and the 815 is the 815 is definitely faster, particularly in 1.3. If you go to the 1.2, it does slow it down a bit and it does atomize finer, but it's still faster than the 817 in 1.3. Now at the moment, as far as I know, it's only available in 1.3. Hopefully they will bring a 1.4 version out, because normally with the split tip guns you can go up the tip sizes without no detrimental effect to the finish, whereas that often isn't the case with the standard guns, the non-split tip guns. I say split tip, most people call them V-groove, but I just call them split tip. The atomization on this is probably no better than the 815. As I said, what you get with the 815 is the speed. What you get with the 817, and the same applies to the 717, is you get really fine atomization for a full-size gun of very low pressure. I started off using this in this video. I started off using it, I think, at 1.4 bar, because I was reasonably confident that that's what Porphis had gone for. They'd gone for a similar experience to the 717 rather than the 627, because the 627, although it will run at a lower pressure, it doesn't particularly like it. It doesn't sit happy for clear coat below 2 bar. For base coat, yes, but most guns I will normally bring the pressure down for base coat anyway, because it just doesn't need as much pressure normally. In fact, too much pressure will often go on a bit too dry. If you wonder what I'm faffing about here, it's because I haven't done the tip up tight enough. This, I think it's probably just peculiar to my gun, but I needed to do the tip up really tight before I got rid of any pulsing. I think it will settle down. I've had a few different guns, not necessarily from Porphis, normally from Iwata, where it takes you a few times of loosening the tip, doing it up, loosening the tip, doing it up, just to make it seat properly. So I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But you will see me doing this first clear coat, and you can still actually hear a slight pulsing in the gun. So it still isn't quite tight enough, but I'm thinking to myself, well, it's not a problem at the moment, but I will just tighten it again, which I did, and then it's been absolutely perfect. And it's just a case of me remembering at the moment this just needs to be up quite tight. But once it's done up tight, what you're rewarded with is a really, really nice gun. And I found that, speaking of using it at lower pressure, which it is much better at than the 815, it works even better than the 717 at the same pressure. So if you've got the 717 at, say, 1.3 bar, you can put this down to 1.1 or 1.2 and get exactly the same results. It really is a superb low pressure spray gun, and you can't emphasize the importance of being able to use a gun like this to give you a mirror finish at low pressure. And the thing that it gives you is the fact you being low pressure, you get much less overspray. So depending on your conditions, nobody really likes overspray, but it gives you much less overspray. It means you actually normally consume less material, so it actually saves you money on material. And one of the biggest thing I think that's valuable about low pressure is the fact that it actually really drops the air consumption. So it makes it really, really usable for people with smaller compressors. I don't actually know what air consumption Porphis quote for this, but for the 717 they quote 15 CFM or 15.2 CFM, and it is nowhere near that because that's at 2 bar and you don't need anything like 2 bar. One thing that it proved to me, I got the 717 out and the 817 for the back-to-back at the end of the 2 days using this, and the results were superb. I will get a video out hopefully within like 2-3 weeks because I'm sure people will want to see that. But what it just emphasised to me was how superb these 2 guns at low pressure, how they perform. I've got other low pressure guns, LPH 400, wider 4L from Iwata, again with a split tip design, and they knock the 2 Porphis guns knock spots off the Iwata. That's an English phrase for saying that it just kicks them into the dust. They're just so much better at lower pressure than Iwata can manage. So all credit to Porphis for doing this because they have created really, really good spray guns at a very affordable price. It looks absolutely gorgeous, the spray gun does. I mean, anybody that watches the channel will know that burnt orange happens to be my favourite colour, and it just looks absolutely superb. As I said, how this differs from the 817 is the fact that it performs the same but at a lower pressure still. So you've got minimal overspray, minimal air consumption, and you've got minimal material usage. It's just absolutely superb. I was blown away by the 817, and this just moves the game on a little bit more. I wouldn't say it atomises any finer. I don't think so. It may do slightly, but it atomises as well, and it's as good as any other gun out there. At an even lower pressure. It just really, really works superbly. So yeah, all credit to them for doing it, and it made my job a lot easier. Oh, I say my job. It made me conveying it to you much easier because it's really easy to be enthusiastic about a gun that's really good than it is to be enthusiastic about a gun that isn't any good. And hopefully my enthusiasm comes out when I do these videos and rate these videos, etc., because it is all genuine. And a lot of people say to me, thank you for being honest and truthful, and your passion does come through, and that's what I'm hoping does, because it is what I feel, and they're just cracking guns. They really, really are. I've got loads of guns, and I put these right up there at the top. I got a Sata Jet X recently, and I haven't used it since I got it, and I did a few reviews of it, etc. I've been quite busy getting other guns as well to look at and review, but I haven't even thought about it. And if somebody said to me, right, pick a couple of guns that you wouldn't want to do without, the PRD717 and the 817 would be right at the top of that list. Genuinely, hand on heart, genuinely they would be right at the top of the list because they just are really, really good. I like the blue. What was it somebody said to me the other day? They just put a comment. I think people just do it to wind you up, don't they? But they put a comment on the on YouTube, and it said, oh man, if they could do away with the orange on their caps. This is referring to the PRD717 or the 7 series with the orange stripes, for want of a better word, on the bezel of the cap, and I think that looks really good. Now I know it's a matter of personal taste, but I mean I think it looks really good. So if you don't like it, then fair enough. But I really do like it, and I like the styling of their stuff. I was a little bit, when I first saw the 815 in the blue, I thought, well, yeah, okay, it looks a bit futuristic maybe. But when they've stuck the this burnt orange on it, and I like the silver of the 815 in 1.2 actually, but when they've stuck this burnt orange on it, it just looks absolutely classic. It really does look good. Anyway, these are the final results. As I say, I only had 2 days to use it, but it's certainly enough to know that it's really, really good. It's enough to know the differences between the 815 and the 817. If I missed anything out and you really want to know it, just put a message on the video, and I'll give you the answer. I'm normally quite communicative. Most people will say that. This is obviously straight after. We got some shots outside. Everything is off the gun. There's been no polishing or anything. I try and leave myself as minimal work to do as far as polishing goes. So what you see here is how it finishes off the gun. And the outside stuff you'll see look really, really good. The fan is a bit bigger than the 817, but you don't actually notice it. In use, you really don't notice it. So don't pay too much attention to it. But you can see it's got really good separation, and better separation than the 717 actually, of from the wet to the dry. And the 815, that was the first thing I found about that, was the separation in the pattern is absolutely superb. All credit to them for just getting it right. They've obviously got it right. What will a 9 series be like? Will we get a 9 series? Who knows? But anyway. All credit to them for doing that. And here you see it came out really, really nice. There's a few nibs on it, etc., which is absolutely fine. You expect that, particularly in my circumstances. But I would have to point them out to you for you to see, to be honest. But you can see it lays it on really, really flat. And this was at 1.2 bar. The second coat, the first coat I did it at 1.4. And I thought, no, this is going on really, really well. I reckon I can turn the pressure down. And I turned it down to 1.2 bar. I've had the 717 at 1.1 bar. I reckon, and I might do a video one day, we'll try it at 1 bar, which is the same as the LPH80 runs at. And I reckon we'd get just as good results out of it. You have to go a bit slower. You need a better quality clear. This was U-Pol maximum, so it's a cheap clear, cheap clear. But it actually runs out better than the U-Pol 2080 and 2081 that I used to use, I think. But it runs out reasonably well. But the gun is absolutely superb, and if you get a good quality clear coat, it'll be even better. Anyway guys, thanks as always for listening to me rabbiting on. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you are enjoying them, maybe think about giving us a subscription and give us a thumbs up. Cheers guys, bye bye.